Hello everyone. Thank you for stopping by my channel. For those of you that have not subscribed, Conversations with KC Bass, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that when I'm posting videos weekly, you can get that notification. Now, I wanted to do a video today about my alopecia journey. There are many women that have alopecia. It is a hair loss condition. And what I have found is that once I began to tell my alopecia story, and that was 6 years ago, on my 40th birthday, I decided to go bald, as you can see. It has actually been a wonderful journey. It was very liberating for me to be able to just be free of and I don't say this against anyone that wears wigs or uses extensions or anything like that. I got away from that because it just was not suitable for me. I couldn't have anything close to my head. Otherwise I would have an allergic reaction. So what ended up happening was I had to keep my head open to air. I could no longer, for years I did wear wigs and hair pieces and all that kind of stuff, extensions, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I had a closet full of hair, wigs and everything. I mean, you name it, I had it. But I got to a place where it was just too much. Hello, it was too much, okay? Constantly having to go to the beauty shop, just never really feeling free. Always feeling like I had to have something done to my head. Now, it was emotional for me. It was something that I really had to take some thought about, want to make sure my head was shaped right before I went bald, because most women are very self-conscious about their looks, and I didn't want to go bald and then have this fear. Now, it took some getting used to. When I first did it, every time I went into the grocery store, any store, I felt like all eyeballs were on me. I got used to it after a while, because what I started to really recognize was that I had a very natural beauty. And my bald head just kind of went right along with my natural beauty. If you guys hear something in the background, that's my puppy trying to tear up her bed, just in case you hear some rumbling and some shaking in the background. So my actual alopecia journey began when I was about 28. I am 46 now. At 28, I began to lose my hair. Now, that was a very difficult, traumatic time in my life as well. I had just gone through a divorce. A part of the hair loss I attributed to the stress of the divorce, but what I found as years went on was it just wasn't the divorce and the stress of life or single parenting. I was a single parent I am a single parent of two boys, young boys at the time. They're big grown men now. But I could no longer attribute it to the stress of that breakup. It was a deeper issue. I did end up going to the dermatologist. I looked into all kinds of treatments. I mean, all kinds of oils, all kinds of all natural treatments, all kinds of surgical treatments, anything that could get my hair back on my head. Without, super gluing it. You understand? No, I didn't want to gorilla glue it. I just wanted some help there. But once I realized that this was a journey I was on, this alopecia, was something that I had. It did run in on my mother's side of the family, my biological mother side of the family. And so one thing that, I saw was that I just didn't want to always wear hair pieces and all that kind of stuff. Now, some women have discoloration in their hair. I pretty much don't have discoloration. My hair is pretty even. My head is pretty even so far as skin tone is concerned. I did notice first that my hair began to thin here, okay, in this area and on the sides. So I had lots of hair, plenty of thick hair there on the sides, kind of around, and this area was thinning. And so it's you can't just do half of your head if you're going to do extensions or wigs. You're going to have to cover your whole head. You know, and what I recognized as I was getting older was that it was coming out, it was thinning more and more and more. It was thinning. It wasn't just falling out. So hair was there. It's just, it got to the point where I could see down to my scalp. I could no longer cover it, for lack of better words. I could no longer cover it. And so, you know, I accepted that, hold on, you know, I don't have to have anything on my head. I can be bald and I'm good. Now, one thing that I did find, because I was in ministry at the time, I found that, you know, bald was not in really when I went bald, and it made people uncomfortable. I've had people mistaking me for a man until I turn around. I've gone into restaurants and people say, yes, sir, until they really get a good look, you know, at me. And I'm like, I mean, how do you, you know, miss that? But people do. I think they're not looking or not paying attention, or they just either just trying to be funny. So that's the reason why I typically will always wear big earrings. Not only is it fashionable, but it also is a cue for people, so you can take a second look. I'm not a man. So in ministry, because I did look different, I found that there was a considerable decrease in invitations. I found that people were not comfortable with my bald head as I was, and that was fine because I've always been I've always been an outsider in anything that I've done. I've never gone with the grain, so to speak. And so the one thing that I would encourage people or women that have alopecia, now men have alopecia as well. I did not realize it till I really started doing some studying. But when I really looked at it and I really looked at, you know, who I have become, how liberated I've become, you know, how free I've become. Each person is different. Every woman doesn't have to go bald. Some women still like to wear their wigs, and that's okay. You have to choose the journey that you're going to be on and what you're going to do with it. You know, you have to be the one to decide, okay, this is how I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to present myself. But the one thing that liberated me is that I no longer had to worry about my head. Honey, that was beautiful. And in the wintertime, I typically do scarves or wraps. It just gave me a lot of versatility in the way, you know, that I did my hair and or my head. So, you know, I love being bald now. You know, it took some getting used to, but once I realized this is the all natural me, oh my goodness, it was amazing. My confidence level shot through the roof. It was already high anyway, but it really shot through the roof because I felt even more sexy, even more beautiful when I was bald. I actually felt more sexy, more beautiful, you know, more appealing, you know, more magnetic after I went bald. I know that may sound strange, but it did. So it's been a wonderful journey. I accepted the whole alopecia thing. I don't stress about it anymore. It is what it is. You know, ultimately you have to love who you are. If you have alopecia, as I do, you have to love who you are. You know, a lot of Black women have issues with alopecia, and it's okay. However you want to choose to deal with it, you deal with it. You know, however you want to choose to handle it, you handle it. And make it so that whatever you choose is what you want, and you don't just keep wigs and hair because other people are comfortable with that. That's the thing that you know, I recognize, is that I'm not doing this for anyone else. I don't care what anyone else does, that's on them. I had to look out for Kelly. I had to do what was comfortable for Kelly. So that's my alopecia story. You know, that is something that, you know, has really grown. We even have senators and politicians that are going bald because of their alopecia. They're really bringing a lot of awareness to the disorder and other autoimmune diseases. It's just a lot being brought to it now that was not there before. And that's actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing that we have community and camaraderie around this issue. So that's my alopecia story. You guys subscribe. Like I said, I'll keep doing more videos regarding alopecia, interviews with different women that I've met. You know, it's kind of funny because when I go somewhere and I see another bald woman, we're like, you know, throwing up the signs and, you know, stopping to talk to each other, getting each other's story. It is very therapeutic. And I just absolutely I love being around bald Black women because we can still have a voice with or without hair, you know. So I encourage you to keep your voice. Don't let anybody mute you, and love the way you look, alopecia or not, hair or not. Okay, we are not our hair. Okay, you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Toodles.